this is Maez 301, and you're tapped in to get familiar with Khrissy B. Let's get it.
Surprise, these niggas got fans. I heard your mans, nigga, he ain't hard. Don't worry about these bands, I got blue cheese up on my card. Nigga, watch me treat a bitch just like a bitch, she just a bra. Nigga, watch me treat your thought just like a thought. Nigga, fuck you thought. Cody.
This is Get Familiar with Maez. What's up?
What's up,
How are you?
I'm good, thank you for having me.
Long time no see.
So unfortunately. Yeah.
I know, right? But I think the last time I ran into you was at your release party at the GS.
Thank you for coming, by the way.
Of course, I'm here to support. But that was what, last year, 2019?
Yeah, it was in November. It was right before the album came out on November 8th, maybe a week before, so maybe like the end of October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, nice to see you. We definitely have some catching up to do. You have a hell of a backstory, I feel. I remember when I was first introduced to you, of course, by way of EP, he was super excited about this artist that he took under his wing. It was kind of, I feel like at the beginning stages of maybe you moving here.
Yes.
I think you just kind of touched down.
2017.
Yep. Dang, it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 years ago in September. It was September 2017.
Yep, I remember. Okay, and I pulled up on you guys. I heard some crazy shit. I was like, this person, this voice, this person I'm seeing, like it was amazing.
Okay, I was
No, it was crazy in a good way. I just haven't been blown away in a very long time when it comes to music.
Wow.
I just haven't been blown away in a long time, and I've been waiting for, okay, like who is going to be it? I mean, not saying that we don't have some talented people right now, but on the up and coming and on the rise, I've been waiting for that person or just somebody to blow me away, and I will honestly say you're one of them.
Wow, thank you.
And I'm not even gassing you.
I hope not.
I'm not even gassing you. I am very blown away by you.
Thank
you. For sure. You are a rare breed. You really are. And let's kind of just tap into your backstory, because I don't really even fully know like your story. I know you come from the DMV, right? You come from Maryland.
Yes.
Right. Are you telling people your age? I know.
I'm 26.
Okay. Because sometimes we're like, I'm not telling my age. Okay, so you're 26 years old. So you moved here when you were 23, 22, yes. 23.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
22, I turned 20, wait, 23. Then turned 24, 27, 25. Yeah. I'm not good at math. I dropped out of college.
So you came here, when you moved here, was that your first dive into LA, or were you kind of already here before?
I'd never been to California before. I had dreamt about it, and what was powerful was that my dreams brought me here. Not a vacation, not a basketball tournament. It was my dreams, so that was powerful for me.
Yeah, that was your voice.
Yeah.
And so who was that one person, or who was the entity that kind of brought you here?
Well, at the time, my uncle, we had never really talked a lot growing up, but as he began to engross himself in my music career, he had extended himself to me and told me that he would accommodate for me, and assist me in pursuing this dream. Unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition, but lucky for me, him and EP had a relationship. And so when I got here, I kind of just was left on EP's doorstep, per se. And as we started creating, I think neither one of us really wanted to separate. And so I've been here ever since, and he's really just been assisting me and looking out for me and making sure that we accomplish these goals we set out for. And so far, so good.
So far, so good. So the working relationship has been obviously healthy.
It's had its ups and downs, but ultimately it's been healthy. I think any healthy relationship goes through that. And I think what's important is that we were able to get through those moments.
Great. And so, being here now for 3 years, let's kind of talk about the journey of being here. I want to say you've been blindsided so you come into a place you've never been before. You don't know anyone. This whole city, the town is pretty much brand new.
It's all new to me.
It's all new to you. I mean, your early 20s, were you leading back behind anyone in Maryland? Were you kind of going through the withdrawals of leaving anybody behind, or any type of, how was your family? Were they okay with you moving here? I mean, you're fairly young still.
Yeah.
Was there anything that was what was that turning point for you that was kind of difficult, if there was a transition?
Well,
far as your transition goes?
it was definitely difficult because I'd never been here before and I didn't necessarily know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know what the situation was going to be like in terms of the people I was getting involved with. Like, we had conversations over the phone, but I'd never met Irvin or Muggs or any of the people that I'm associated with now. And they had never met me, so we were all just taking a chance. And before I got out here, I was very anxious, but I just prayed on it. And ultimately, I think that has continued to be my saving grace, praying on the things that I'm unclear about, especially when I'm stepping into the unknown. Yeah. And so coming out here was challenging, especially for my parents, because they want me to move out and do these different things, but they want to have some security in what I'm doing. And, you know, me going, this is as far as you could go from Maryland unless I go to Hawaii or something.
Right.
3,500 miles is a long way. And if something happens to me, my parents can't be there right when they may want to be there. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time I got home, my dad, he's a tough guy, he's 6'3", he's 350 pounds, he's not very emotional. But because of how much he didn't understand about this, when I had surprised him when I came home, it was maybe after like 3 or 4 months. It wasn't a long time that I was gone, but he broke down. He was just emotional because he'd just been worried about me. You know, he doesn't. You know, the nature of this industry is that it's really dark and that, you know, it's hard to really find any trust.
And our parents are so traditional in that sense of like not really understanding. Oh, I want to be an artist. I want to sing. No, I need you to go get this 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that scares them too.
Mm-hmm. Makes it way harder too, because you're speaking a language to them that they just really don't understand. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, like, they believed in me, but the reality of it to them was like, I don't know that there's really any reality in that. Yeah. You know, but I didn't see the reality of how they were existing, and so I had to fight my own battle. And here I am now, and they're very proud, they're very happy, and ultimately it's allowed me a different type of respect from them than I would have gotten doing anything else.
Right.
So it worked out in the long run for sure.
That's amazing. So let's kind of go back to when you first got here. So you're here now, you're creating music with DP, and I don't know if it's recent, but you got to deal with Strange, right?
Yes.
Like, that's big.
Hell yeah.
I've always looked at Tech Nine, so I actually went to a few Tech Nine shows, and I hear that he's like the #1 man with the merch. Like, his merch sells like millions of dollars. Yeah. To see his stage presence, to see how he puts on a show, to see all the hoopla, like that shit is amazing from front to back. Mm-hmm. And I think that he's probably one of the most smartest men in the industry. A lot of people sleep on him when it comes to business and just running the independent shit. Yeah. Like, he's the GOAT to me when it comes. He's a totally different breed when it comes to the independent. So I think for you to fall under that umbrella, it has been a blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about your Strange journey. So when did that? So that was officially
in 2018.
Okay, so 2 years ago. Okay.
2018. Yep. Towards the end of 2018. So it's not been very long, but it hasn't been a short period of time. We've got a little bit of history now. Unfortunately, with the state of the world, the first tour that I was going to go on, which was supposed to happen in April, which is the Interfered tour, that got postponed until next year in May. So I'm still waiting and continuing to be as patient as I can, waiting on these things that I've been dreaming about and putting in work toward. But the Strange journey has been exciting. Tech Nine expressed interest in me as soon as he first heard my work. I mean, as early as 2017, we had flown out to the facility in Lee Summit before the year was over, and I met with Travis O'Gwen and Tech, and it was almost like being recruited to a university as a student athlete, which I really liked and enjoyed, because I remember growing up and wanting to play basketball, never being good enough to be recruited. But that was fun, kind of living out that fantasy. But it's been an interesting journey. I think one of the most important things I could take away from Tech Nine being at the helm of what it is that I'm experiencing is just being yourself. Like, ultimately, there's this idea perpetuated of what it takes to be successful and what mainstream success looks like. And he's not necessarily mainstream, but he's accomplished more than a lot of mainstream artists have. Yes. And not only that, like, he shows you that there is an audience for you. You know, like, you don't have to be able to see it to understand that it's out there. And so that's done a lot for me in terms of just continuing on my own path, as opposed to like veering towards something more comfortable and more recognizable to people. And then, like you said, his business acumen. You know, I get that from a lot of the older gentlemen that I'm involved with, just watching how they establish themselves in the industry and how they create a presence in such an oversaturated industry. Yeah. So it's definitely been a blessing.
He allows you to be unapologetically you.
Oh my goodness, that's the best part.
There's no like, well, we need to try to fit into the norm of society, or we need to try to manipulate or make you look different or sound different. I like you because this is you. Yeah. This is what you sound like and what you look like. Yeah. So I think that's dope too, to be able to be under someone that understands that. Yeah. Because that's what this industry is. It's about manipulating you or tweaking you or altering your sound or your look to fit in to
fit something that somebody can recognize or something somebody has already seen. Not understanding that a rock star is somebody that comes in and completely shakes it up. It's something you've never seen.
Is that what you consider yourself a rock star?
I mean, I just consider myself it's new.
I like that though. I like that.
It's like I'm not trying to come in like I'm already so
low key. You are.
I'm already so quiet and I exist at such a low frequency. But when it comes to my art, when it comes to when I'm on stage, like I'm not there to play the background. Yeah. You know, or to blend in or to fit in. Like there's already so much of that, so people don't have to look far to find that. I want to be something that they can't find anywhere else.
Do you? I don't know. You've gotten compared to this person, but do you often get comparisons to Travis Scott? Or anybody make any references to Travis Scott?
Maybe when more people see me live, I think they'll kind of get that vibe. And every now and then, especially because my music is so melodic, but I've gotten a lot of comparisons. I am a big fan of Travis Scott, and I know that his work inspires my work, but I wouldn't say that I've gotten a lot of Travis Scott comparisons. But I still have a lot more music that people have yet to hear that when you listen, you may be able to hear some of that influence. Yeah. For sure. So, good. If that's what you're saying, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a compliment.
I think he's dope as hell.
If I had to kind of, you know how there's certain artists are just kind of categorized, and there's just certain groups that kind of all who not sound I guess sound the same or kind of are on the same court, and I would just put you in the same court.
I'll take that
with him.
I mean,
if there was a tour, I would expect you to be.
I want to be in that.
If there was a Travis Scott tour, I want to see Maez on this tour. Cool. You know what I'm saying? The group just makes sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like the ASAP Rockies, the Travis Scotts, Maez. Like I just feel like you fit into that realm of players. So that's just. I love that. That's where you fit to me.
Those are people that I associate myself with when I think about who I would want to do a tour with before it's my own tour. You know? So. I love that you can see that, pick up on that.
For sure. I listened to the new album. Let's just get into it, because okay, so it's titled Hassan. Yes. Is that your first name?
It is.
Okay, which is dope.
Thank you.
I never knew that. Yeah. But I just assumed. I'm like, Hassan has to be. You don't have no kids. So
not yet.
I just figured that was 20 songs.
21 if you pre-order and get the bonus track.
Oh shit.
Lots of music out now. That's 42 songs out.
Wow. Okay, so 21. I was at first leery. Only reason why is because
it's a lot of music.
It's a lot of music that I need to listen to and really, really listen to. But I'm patient with music. I am, and I just know nowadays too. Some people are very. Let me just keep it to 7. Let me make 10 because our attention span is just not there. There's just so much going on right now, and we have so much access to music. I was like, am I going to get through this?
Yeah, I can understand.
But I got through it.
Yeah, no, and I think more or less, I think it helps that we have a relationship. And so that would encourage you to listen to it.
Absolutely.
But art is, for me, it's not about existing in the moment. Because if my work was about existing in the moment, it would be completely different than it is, right? Ultimately, people are going to go back to that work. They're going to go back to it, and then it's going to give them the opportunity because now they have a relationship with the artist like we share, where they want to hear the rest of it. Ultimately, I just put enough music on there that if you like one song, you just go back and you listen to that one song so everybody can have something that they like on there.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's a lot of music. I don't personally, oftentimes, if I'm introduced to a new artist, listen to everything they have until I find something, and usually more than something, a song, 2 or 3, that brings me back to saying, all right, let me see what else they got going on. So
it's very cohesive. It's very cohesive. And then I think to me, this particular project shows your range. If anybody wants to know what can Maez do, this is it.
That's the Maez.
To me. Like it shows, I feel like I was getting a new person damn near on every other song. I was like, this shit is dope because I was hearing, I could hear you, but I was hearing something different, but then it was still cohesive.
Right, the variety is the cohesion.
Exactly. It was really dope to get through. And so I told EP, I was like, I'm a ride. So that's the best time for me to listen to music is when I'm driving in the car. So I would just take them random trips. I was just dipping around. I went an extra block, I just needed to ride to it to really be able and turn it up a couple of notches to really be able to get a feel for it. And I fell in love with the E40 song, the one featuring E40.
Absolutely, that's more the sound out here, so I can understand that.
Yeah, so of course that makes sense. That's the one I really gravitated to like right away as I was kind of listening to it. So that's probably my standout song on the project. But again, it sounds so cohesive and it allows me to just tap into like your many different personalities of the artist that you are. I was able to kind of like your ranges and you rapping, but you're rapping different on the next one, and then you were up here on the, and then you were down here, and then you sped up the lyrics. I was like, oh shit, like this is tight. And that's what helped me get through the fact that you had 21 songs. Is that it was just a different flavor every different song. It doesn't get
mundane or monotonous.
Yes. And let's just talk about the creative space that you were in. Was this something that you kind of created through the pending? Obviously, I'm sure some of these songs were created before. Did you have these in the vault? Let's just kind of talk about the creative space.
It's a combination. I mean, as long as I've been out here and as closely as I've been working with my producer, we have so much music. And so with every album, there's always going to be a song that existed before the album. And we're like, all right, well, this feels like the album that song should be a part of. So some of the music was already music we had, and then some of the music because we're always recording. And so even right down to right before the album comes out, there may be a new addition to the album. There were a few songs that I had recorded when I had gone home for the pandemic and I was in Maryland that I finished out there within the last few months that made the album. So it's a never-ending creative process. Some of the music there's songs on this album that may be 2 years old. So, and then just finding the right way to allow all those records to exist together.
That makes sense. So it's kind of like collectively just throughout the time. And who was like your main, so it's EP like the main producer?
I executive produced the first and second album. And the third album that's coming out will also have his name on it. Just at this point, we've created so much work together and the world deserves to have it. So
how did you get Bad Luck on the track?
I mean, that's the OG, that's the big bro.
Being the OG, like getting Bad Luck to rap on anything is kind of tough. So that's a blessing.
Absolutely, it's a blessing. Him and EP are so close.
Of course,
And as I got to spend time with him, we grew a nice relationship. He's like just a dope mentor, and he really believes in what I have going on. And so it was no sweat off his back to try to do something to support a young artist, a young black artist, and a young man pursuing a dream. It's the same type of role I want to take on one day. Trying to encourage and feed a young man's dream or a young woman's dream. So I appreciate and respect him for that.
What kind of gems do you get from Bad Luck? First of all, he's the funniest man on Instagram by far. He is like the caption goat.
The meme goat, all
he
that.
He is funny as hell. Like I dare the Bloods, dare the Crips. Like it's just funny. I'm like, how does he come up with this stuff? Anywho, but he also is he's one of them people that you have to just shut up and just listen. Just listen to. Anytime I'm in a room with him, I just allow him just to talk. And it's been, we haven't been in a room that many times, but the times that we have been, just let him go. Because there's so much information and knowledge that comes from him. Is there anything personally, like about the industry or just about music, about your journey that you kind of took away from him? Just to kind of shine the light on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't say that I can say verbatim, like this is something that he said to me because like you, the time that we spent together has been sparing. But more than anything, I think he just encourages me to continue to follow my dream. He exudes so much positive energy, and that's something that I can attach and gravitate towards in somebody. And I just appreciate his energy, his sense of humor, but more than anything, his support. He's always shown me love on social media and letting me know how excited he is for my future, what I have to come, and how big a fan he is of me just as an artist and as a person as well. And so I can really appreciate that about him because, first of all, he doesn't have to do any of that. He doesn't have to share any of that. And he doesn't have to give me a verse, you know, like he's retired. Like somebody reached out, how'd you get bad luck? He's retired and yada yada. Oh man, God is just good. God is just good.
That was for you.
Yeah.
That was for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. How are you able to kind of stay spiritually sane, emotionally sane, especially we're in a really weird space. The world is in a really weird space. I mean, I'm 35 and I'm like, this is the first time ever like I've ever had to go through anything like this.
Yeah, I think
from
for a lot of us.
The pandemic to Black Lives Matter to, I mean, the world is just shaking up right now. I mean, our city's on fire.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. The energy right now is just really off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a real challenge.
How are you able to kind of stay mentally sane throughout it all? As a Black man at that, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's just so much, the trigger is pointed at you, you know? And I say my prayers for Black men every night because I'm tired of waking up hearing about one of us being murdered or something happening, or our women are being kidnapped, or our women are being murdered. And this is just real shit that's going on every single day. Like, I grew up in the hood, so you hear about the hood stories, but it's just innocent women and children and men being killed for no reason.
Oh yeah, it's old news.
I'm really, quite frankly, just tired of it. So I'm just, you know, I'm staying in a prayerful state. But how are you able to kind of cope through and stay mentally sane through it all? And still be creative?
Yeah. I think difficulty is always a great inducer to creativity. But for me, it's in weird, peculiar, and uncomfortable times where everything that you practice is challenged. Everything that you practice is put to, because what purpose does any of it serve if when you're met with adversity, you crumble or you fall or you don't know how to put into practice all that it is that you say represents who you are. And so I guess it's a time like this where we're all being asked kind of who we are and what we do it for, because we have so much time to ourselves to sit and really try to reflect and figure it out. It's an amount of time we may never have to ourselves again. A lot of us are always working.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, work has been shown to not necessarily be the priority right now because we can't work at the capacities we usually do or are comfortable working at. And so for some of us who hide behind our work, you have to put yourself out there and figure out what it is that exists beyond your work. And so for me, as much as I love music and art, there's more to me than just being an artist or a musician. It's about the type of human being I am, because if I don't understand that context, I won't even know what to do with any of the blessings that God bestows upon me. So it's really just a good time to just isolation. Isolation is key, and that's what you're gonna find yourself in a quarantine, right? Yeah. Isolated.
Yeah.
So
spending time with yourself.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's how I've learned how to exist in this outside world, figuring out how to exist in my head by myself. And then all of this just becomes like almost like a game or a simulation, I want to say. I know that sounds crazy, but...
No, it doesn't. Was it hard for you to do that prior to the pandemic? Were you someone that couldn't sit down? Like, you didn't know how to be still prior to the pandemic?
I think being still has always been a really big part of me.
Okay.
Because for me to move, I have to really be passionate about what I'm moving for. You know, because I'm not going to move just to move. Some people just move because staying still brings out of you a lot of stuff that you don't want to face. You don't want to experience. So it's like, well, if I stay busy, I don't have to face those demons. But a big part of who I am, and I think it just has a lot to do with, like, I'm kind of an introvert. I can be a bit of a loner. Like, it's not to say that I can't exist in a social context, but it's just a kind of runs in my family. My brother's extremely introverted. My mom just has experienced so much isolation through her experiences. And so it's, for the most part, really fed who I am. So it's kind of prepared me for this stuff, really. Like, just the different personalities that you meet, all of the different energies you encounter, like, you gotta, in some way, try to prepare for that, or it's gonna drive you crazy.
Absolutely. I feel like you have some hidden talents. Is there anything else? I feel like you can do something else. Are you good at an instrument, or do you play basketball?
I play basketball, and I'm decent. On a good day, I can look like I'm really good, but on a bad day, I can look like I've never played before.
Okay.
So I don't like to talk too much trash when it comes to basketball. I just kind of like to let my game talk. But I'm a really great I can draw. I can paint. I'm really into fashion. So just other things that extend my creativity. I like to write poetry and books and things like that, which I think I'm fairly good at. I'm good at jumping off of stuff with my bike. I used to skateboard a lot.
Oh my gosh.
I want to get a dirt bike. I like really extreme stuff.
So you can do the tricks with your
with my skateboard. Yeah, I used to want to be a professional, so I was pretty good. I'm not as good now, but so I guess those are like my hidden talents. And I'm a decent cook. Like I'm all right in the kitchen. I can make some. Like, I can cook like some salmon and stuff. I like
salmon's easy.
But to make it taste good
That's
and then not
true.
dry it out. Like I've had some salmon where it's like it's supposed to be easy. Or what's going on here? You know.
I actually broil my salmon and. My peers like, well, what black folk? What black folk? First of all, I broil salmon because I'm just trying to eat a little better. But it's bomb when you broil it.
Better too. See, I've never even considered a broiled salmon before.
Bomb, broil it.
Okay.
I
like the pan seared though. Put the olive oil in.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you have an air fryer too,
I did my
throw that thing in the air fryer.
Okay,
that's a whole nother level.
Because I'm not trying to eat fried food anymore. So.
I'm with you. I'm trying to. I'm
trying to cut down the grease, the sugar.
Yes. I mean, I had an In-N-Out burger yesterday, so I'm not going to try to act like I'm all holier than thou.
I'm cutting my meat, too, see?
Oh,
just taking a break.
Vegan?
No. I'm pescatarian right now.
Okay.
So I'm still eating. I love fish. Like,
it's probably easier for somebody that was eating meat prior to become
I'm not just going to jump straight to none of it. Like, I think over time I may take like a month of just, being vegan. But I'm not going to jump from eating whatever I wanted to vegan. I'll kill myself. But pescatarian has been working, no fried food. I feel better. I have more of my wind about me and stuff. I can feel the air going through my nose. Like I just breathe better. I'm like, wow, I need to keep this up. So
yeah, I think I'm with you. That's a part of too, just staying alive. It really is. It's just a part of staying alive. People don't understand, like, especially I know in your field or the line of work that you're in, the norm is drinking and eating bad.
Yeah, and
it's
that's
very
what
rare
I
that you're gonna
too.
get. But living this healthy lifestyle allows you to have wind. Allows you to jump on. If you're gonna be jumping around, I can jump around for you. I can jump around for an hour, and I'm not winded. I'm healthy. I'm up here. I got my wind. I'm not about to pass out.
Right.
I don't feel like I'm about to faint.
Yep.
I feel good while I'm on stage. My voice is good in the studio. I can perform on 1,000. So I think that's very, very important to be able to kind of put that out there that you're living this healthy lifestyle. Yeah. Do you drink?
I do. And so that's why I consider I don't like drink every day or all the time, but when I do drink, sometimes I tend to say, all right, well, fuck it, I'm going to enjoy myself and I'll drink a bit. And so it's like, well, if I'm taking care of myself, if I'm constantly drinking water and eating right, then the experience when it comes to drinking doesn't have to be so negative the day after. So preparing myself for what I know this lifestyle is going to throw my way. Because some nights I won't be able to choose what I'm eating. So when I get to choose what I'm eating, I need to make a good choice.
Absolutely. And as long as you have a balance, I think it's just a simple balance.
Yeah, I'm addicted to sugar. So every now and then I'm going to go to Rita's and get a large cup with a whole bunch of shit going on.
Oh, wow.
But I'm trying to just discipline myself. Ultimately, that's the test of ultimately, that's what tests your manhood. I think is being able to say no to things is the real testament of a man. So just trying to get better at that because it's hard, Yeah. Vices are difficult to overcome. So I'm trying to start small, and work my way up the food chain.
To be mid-20s, you really got a good head on your shoulders.
Thank you.
You really do. I don't really come across a lot of men your age. I'm not saying you have it all figured out.
I wish.
You're on the right path. You really are. You're on the right path, and you have really good people in your corner, your team. Yeah. That's everything. The people that are behind you that are giving you the positive gems, the right gems. Okay, this is the mistakes I made, so now this is where we're going to take you, bouncing off of their mistakes. Yeah. You have the right team of people. Now that the project is here, what now? Are we dropping some videos, some visuals? Yep. I know right now we're at a standstill, so there's no touring right now. Are we creatively maybe going to do some virtual shows? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, all of that has been considered. Right away, we do have some visuals coming soon to accompany this release. I'm going to be doing a lot of shooting next month. Okay. in terms of providing visuals for this recent album and the next album that I have coming out, so trying to stay ahead of the curve. And then me and this guy, EP, we're always creating music, so we're just continuing to build up the catalog. And then in terms of a virtual show, I know that Strange Music specifically has just built this amazing stage at their sound stage in Lee Summit. And it's huge. It's got all these screens and lights, and it's insane. And I know they're going to start reaching out to different artists to have them come do shows for their virtual fan base, which on YouTube is nearly 2.25 million subscribers. So they have a cult following, and I'm sure we're going to start having some conversations about me getting out there and doing a set. Hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But for now, what I do know is more visuals and more music.
So you already have an album, another album already in the works?
I do. We have enough music to put out another album right now, but ultimately it's about putting the right songs together. So it's not ready yet, but we're more than halfway done, and I just want to keep putting out this music and giving people something to attach themselves to, because ultimately if the tour would have happened before, people would have just been there and they would have been experiencing me, whereas now there's 9 more months till the tour, so people may be coming there to see me, which is completely different. And so I'm looking forward to the potentiality of that, like seeing people singing my music and lining up for me. Like, it's not just, oh, I'm here for Tech Nine. It's like, no, I don't even know who Tech Nine is, but I'm here for Maez. Who's that Tech Nine guy? You know, so that'll be interesting.
Totally different generation.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I'm looking forward to that. I got time to continue to feed that narrative.
Yeah.
So.
Is there even a formula? I mean, it just sounds like you're just creating, constantly creating, and I think that's what you're supposed to do as an artist. Just make music. Yeah. But do you have like a real formula, or is just you just going for it?
I would say that being formulaic, there's utility in it and there's purpose in it. But ultimately, in this moment right now, I understand that the most important thing that I can do and what's allowing me to exist in a space of peace is really just creating. Like, when I try to concentrate so much on the formula behind what it is that I'm putting together, it can get difficult, and because there are so many moving parts right now. As we try to break me through and introduce me to the world, and so it's like just kind of acknowledging the efforts that everybody's contributing and trying to exist at a capacity where we can all move towards the same goal, and then formula will become more and more a necessary attribute. But right now it's just staying creative and showing the world what we possess and what we're on the verge of, and kind of presenting our potential.
Absolutely.
You know, so the more the merrier.
Absolutely. Well, it was really, really good catching up with you. I love the album.
Thank you.
I'm still gonna sit on the album. I'm still gonna listen to the album. I just feel like I still need to connect with it more. But again, great job.
Thank you.
Mean, 21 songs is crazy, but it's a good 21 songs. Again, I feel like you have so much range, and once everybody else catches on, they're gonna be like, damn, he's the full package. Like, the only thing he ain't doing is playing the damn guitar or some shit.
Hey, I'm learning.
Like, only thing he's not doing is on the keys, like, because you really are, you're the full package.
And that's kind of how I make up for the fact that I'm not playing all these instruments. My voice is the instrument.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to give you a different instrument every song.
Yes. I mean, again, congratulations on that. I'm rooting for you, for real, for real. I'm excited to hear what's next, what's in the future. Anything you want to drop on this? Anything else besides the album you want to drop on this? And drop where can we follow you? Social media handles?
All my social media handles are the same. Maez 301, Maez. I would say if you're spelling it like a maze, you're spelling it wrong.
It's the E and the Z are
right.
switched.
Right. Yeah. People can't find you. How'd you spell it? M-A-Z. No. If you're spelling it like that, you're spelling it wrong. So Maez on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere social media exists, that's where you can find me. But ultimately, in terms of leaving you guys with anything before I go, just trust your process. And I know it's cliche, but there's truth to every cliche. And so when I say trust your process, like,
I live by that.
Trust the difficulty of what you're going through, because ultimately, like, you're projecting to the world before you even tell anybody,
Yes.
before you even share with them what it is you're pursuing, you're letting the world know who you want to be.
Absolutely.
You're letting God know where you want to go. And ultimately, he's tapped in before anybody else can feed that narrative or assist or support you. God is working ahead of time.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is he's introducing you to experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, that are feeding that pursuit, whether you even realize it. And that's why clarity is key. So when you're in those moments of challenge, you can understand that it's feeding you becoming who you say you want to be. And ultimately, you'll realize everything is good. Everything intrinsically is good. Everything is purposeful. When I say it's good, it's like ultimately you have to define it, because bad things are going to happen. But it's your job to define what it means to you, like, or what you can do with it, or how you can. So just trust your process. Just trust your process. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. So what are you? And just move forward in faith, and it'll work itself out. Like, it has to. I believe it has to. If you're pursuing this greater version of yourself, all this stuff will happen around you in pursuit of that. Because that's what we're here for. Like, I'm not here to be a rapper. I'm here to be a specific person. And if this will feed that narrative, it's happening. It's showing me that there's truth to what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying it because I read it from a book. I'm speaking from experience. So that's all I got.
And that's a really good way to end it. I'm not even gonna put nothing on top of that. We just gonna shut it down right now. This is Maez on Get Familiar. I'm Khrissy, and we are out.
Yeah.
Tapped in, I need money in the vault, put the racks in. Doing shots on the boat, straight to the booth where I cut the beat in half like a fraction. Picture me sinning but winning on a bad day. Steady pulling off fits like a band-aid. Why the fuck you niggas hating in the first place? Why we still getting cake, birthday? I'm the type that when I laugh at a hater, stacking the paper, doing what I do, cause you know I'm mad innovative. Chilling in my city, cause you know I'm mad celebrated. Cooling on the top floor in this mad elevator, looking at my diamonds. Hydrate, do you mind giving the flow back? Nigga, I made it, I'm faded with a bad bitch. Side bitch, kinda famous on the Atlas. Hot bitch, that's cause I'm on cookies. Book me right now. Bless